Okay, so I want to go over this question because it's just like question 7 from the quiz. So if you understand what I'm going to say in this video for this question, you'll definitely do well for the quiz tomorrow. So what we're talking about is Diego. What I'm going to do is read it one time through, and then after that, I'm going to go back and circle anything I think that's really important and then use it to help me solve the problem. Okay, so we know that Diego bought 8.4 kilograms of flour. He divided it into bags of 0.7 kilograms each. He sold each bag for $1.85. How much money did he earn from selling all the bags? So now I'm going to go back to each sentence and circle all the numbers and basically create a small label to say what it's talking about. So we know that Diego bought 8.4 kilograms of flour. So I'm going to circle 8.4 kilograms, and then I'm going to label it as Diego's flour. Diego's flour. Okay. He then divided it into bags of 0.7 kilograms each. So I'm going to circle 0.7 kilograms, and I'm going to say how he divided flour. How he divided the flour. So he's taking the flour and he's splitting it up equally. That's just division. So now we know that we're going to have to divide, but the question is what's going to be the dividend and what's going to be the divisor? The dividend is what we're starting off with, that's getting split up, which sounds a lot like this here. And the divisor is how we're splitting it up, which sounds like this here. So that's going to give us 8.4 divided by 0.7. Now remember, when you have it written like this number is the dividend, which means it goes inside the long division notation. And this is the divisor, which means it goes outside the long division notation. So it's going to end up looking like this. It's going to be 8.4 divided by 0.7. I'm going to erase this other stuff because I don't need it anymore. Okay? Now, remember, we can't have a divisor that's a decimal. We've got to make it whole. So the only way to do that is to move the decimal point to the right. And we're going to move that decimal point one time to the right. So that goes here. And however we move the decimal in the divisor, we move it in the dividend. So we're going to move this over one time as well. And we should rewrite what the new question is going to be, which means that our new divisor is just 7. So I'll put 7 outside. And our new dividend, which is inside the long division notation, is no longer 8.4, but now it's 84 because we moved that decimal over one spot to the right. So now we've got 84 in the long division notation. Okay? Now, the next thing we have to do is just divide. And I'm going to zoom in to focus on that. So how many times can 7 go into 8? Well, that can happen one time. Because 1 times 7 is 7. And then I'm going to subtract that. And 8 minus 7 is 1. And then I'm going to bring down the 4 and repeat the process. So before I divided 84 by 7. Now I'm going to divide 14 by 7. And how many times can 14 go into, can 7 go into 14? Well, that's going to be 2. So we'll put a 2 up there because 7 times 2 is going to give us 14. And we'll write that here and subtract and we'll get 0. Now, what I really want students to understand is the fact that this means something. It's just not 12 flour or 12 kilograms of flour. Remember what's happening. He's dividing them into bags. So what's happening is we have, I'll make a little model real quick. We have all this flour, right? This represents flour, and there are 8.4 kilograms of flour, right? Now, what's happening is that he's splitting it up into bags of 0.7 kilograms each. So he's going to split it up. So this is a bag of 0.7 kilograms. This is a bag. That's a bag. That's a bag. Bag, 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 bag. Bag, 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 bag. And I wrote 12 of them because that's exactly what's happening. We have 12 of these little bags. And each of those bags holds how many kilograms? Well, each of them holds 0.7 kilograms. So the 12 little bags together will make up the 8.4 kilograms that we started with. Okay, so this means there are 12 bags of flour. But that's not what they're asking us. They're asking how much money did he earn from selling all the bags? Okay, well, we know that he is selling each of those bags for $1.85. Okay, so this is the price for each bag. And how many bags do we have? Well, remember, we have 12 bags of flour. Now, if we have 12 bags of flour and each bag costs $1.85, how would you find the price of all the bags of flour? Well, you could do $1.85 plus $1.85 plus $1.85 plus $1.85 plus $1.85 12 times, or much easier, you can do 12 times 1.85. Okay? So we've got, I'll try to move this stuff over. I'll move this over here. And then I'll use this for my multiplication. And remember, when you're multiplying decimals, you just have to treat it like you are multiplying regular numbers. So we've got 185 times 12. 1, 2. So we've got to multiply everything by 2 first on top. And that's going to give us our first line of values. And then we're going to multiply everything after that by 1, and that's going to give us our second line of values. So let's start. We've got 2 times 5 is 10. So I'll bring down the 0 and carry the 1. Bring down the 0, carry the 1. Now we've got 2 times 8, which is 16, plus the 1 is 17. So I'll bring down the 7 and then carry the 1. And finally, we've got 2 times 1, which is 2, plus the 1, which is 3. So I'll put that 3 here. Okay, now, the next thing we're doing is we're going to multiply everything by 1. But we've got to start under the 1, which means we have to put a placeholder here. So we're going to have a 0 here. And then I'm going to also cross off anything I carried so I don't get confused with anything new I carry. So now we've got 1 times 5, which is 5, which will go here. We've got 1 times 8, which is 8. I'll put that here. And then we've got 1 times 1, which is 1, and I'll put that here. Now we've got to add everything that we've got. So we've got 0 plus 0 is 0. 7 plus 5 is 12. Bring down the 2, carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 8 is 12. I'll bring down the 2, carry the 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, if we said that this is $2,220, that doesn't make sense, right? Because remember, everything is $1.85 each, which means if we put that here, that we have 2 decimal place values in our question. We have 2 decimal place values, which means we'll have to have 2 decimal place values in our answer. So we'll start here and then move it over 2 to make sure that happens, which means that we're going to have 22.20. And because the question's talking about money, we need to write it as money. So this is the cost of all 12 bags of flour. Right here. Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know exactly what part of the video you would like me to go back to, and I will be happy to help. Good luck.